These are the parts that we'll put together here as our pin assembly. Basically, you just have a plate here. Um, this will serve as our riser, and this here will serve as our extension. If you can see that good enough or not. But right here we've got a mill bit with a particularly long one for application I'm doing right now. You won't need one that long for normal use. Right here we've got our pins, which are nothing more than shoulder bolts, and then you cut it off to whatever length you need. Then you can actually put washers underneath the screw in there in order to adjust your height up and down. Nothing more than a piece of angle iron here, which will support our pen. I'm going to go ahead and weld everything together and show you when it's done. Okay, what I've got here is everything's welded up. It's not painted yet, but as you can see here, I've got the router pin in it, the guide pin, and I had to drill a second hole because I was not square. And you see you can put washers on it underneath there in order to get everything in alignment. From there, you want to just go to your router. Router's already mounted to the deck here, and you just drop the pin into the router hole, and that's going to give you your alignment. You want to check it for being vertical both directions, like such, and make sure your pin is perfectly straight up and down. What you can do if it's not is shim your back plate where you mount it. I've already pre-drilled one hole, and I'll catch the other holes here in a bit, but I just wanted to get one hole started back there. I drilled and I chose to tap it so I didn't have the extra hardware sticking out from underneath, and I can put the right length of hardware in there just to hold the plate. I'm going to have to shim mine just a little bit because you can see there's a gap there on the front. It's hard to cut things perfectly square, but that's what shimming's for. As soon as I get the rest of it put together and painted, I'll pop off another video here and let you see. Okay, I've got it mounted now, and you can see I put a couple of shims back there. Let me zoom in there. You can see a couple of shims underneath there just to keep everything square. So everything's going good on that. Basically, when you do this, you want to be able to take your router and move straight up and down on that pin without any kind of binding whatsoever, and then you'll know you're directly over the center of that, and that should do the job for us. Next I'll show you how to set to align and set for your pin height, and we'll go from there. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got the pattern, the template, and the foam height that I'm going to be cutting. Just bring them up to the pin, go underneath here, and just mark where you want to cut that pin off at. And that's basically how you set your height. You cut the pin off, and then you should be set. And from there, you just install the router bit and bring the router up just underneath the pin, and as long as you have clearance for your router not to cut into your wood, you should be fine. Thank you. Okay, what I wanted to show you today was the router cutting. I've got the template here, vacuum I set up in the other room so that you could actually hear me through part of the demonstration. I've got a switch over here which I control the router as well as the dust collection or shop vac hooked up to the system, and that way I can just throw one switch, everything's ready to roll, shut it off, and everything stops. We'll go ahead and hook up the vacuum. A couple of things I want to show you here. Well, first of all, we are attached, and when I start running here, I'm gonna actually show you how to get these corners nice and crisp before I move forward here. So just go ahead and watch the video and enjoy it. template attached to the part for a bit. Verify that there's no high spots that you want to go back over and reroute. Check your corners, make sure they're good and crisp corners. That's what we're looking for. Once you pop it off of the template, you're going to be hard pressed to get it lined back up in order to do any corrections that you want to on the pattern. So always double check your work before you separate it from the template. And there you have your duplicate part. I've got some parts that I made earlier that we want to just put side by side just to verify that we have a good identical part, a good match all the way around. I don't know if you can see that clear enough, but that's basically how the router system works and how it's able to duplicate and reproduce the same part over and over